All right, two things here. Two things. The complete and utter ridiculous overreactions to Tyrese Maxey having a bad shooting night, and it's becoming more and more clear to me what the biggest issue is with the Philadelphia 76ers.
Run it back, Philly. No frauds, no fanboys, no intros.
Run it back, Nation. What is good? Sixers sickos, what is good? Check out my sponsor, and then let's get into the video. Before we get into the show, let me talk to you about the sponsor of today's show, Aura. Are you tired of constantly receiving spam calls to the point where you don't even answer your phone anymore? This is mine just recently. What this is data brokers selling your information. It's kind of scary and creepy to think that your information is out there like that. Aura can identify data brokers exposing your info and submit opt-out requests on your behalf. Brokers are legally required to remove your info if you ask them to, but they make it very difficult. Let Aura do it for you. Aura also does so much more to protect you and your family from online threats that you can't see. It's very easy to set up, and the app does so many things for you, like parental controls, antivirus, VPN, password management, identity theft insurance, and more, at one affordable price. Let Aura do the hard work of keeping you safe online so that you can focus on other tasks and peace of mind. You can either let people continue to exploit and profit off your private information, or you can go to aura.com/runitback to start your 2-week free trial. Click the link in the description to get started. Okay, here we go again. Last night, against the Miami Heat, Tyrese Maxey shot 4 for 20. He had a bad shooting night. All I see now on the social medias is that Tyrese Maxey is not the guy, and he can't lead a team, and he can't step up and without Joel when it matters the most. He folded under the bright lights. We desperately need another scorer. They do this every single time the Sixers lose a game. You got to win. You got to go 82-0. You got to win all the games without Joel. Step number 1, you're not winning without Joel Embiid. The Patriots weren't winning without Tom Brady. The Bulls weren't winning championships without Jordan. I think maybe Nick Foles, kind of cursed this city, really, thinking that, like, when your star isn't there, the backup has to step up and deliver and lead the team to the promised land. It's just not that realistic. And people are calling Maxey an Embiid merchant. Oh, really? The best sidekick Embiid has had in his career, who has literally learned the game at this level by playing with Joel Embiid? I mean, okay. But last night was just a bad shooting night. And I'm not usually anyone who played ball guy, or you guys never played ball or whatever. Maxey couldn't make a shot last night. And anybody that's ever played ball and has been a shooter knows exactly what that feels like. And when he hit that 3 at the end of the game and it went in, and he just was like, are you kidding me? Like, that's going to go in? He was so frustrated when he made that shot, and I felt that in my chest because the real shooters have been there plenty of times. But he can't lead a team, or he can't step up without Embiid. People, like, need I remind you? Let's go through all of the Tyrese Maxey games without Joel Embiid. Let's see, last season without Joel Embiid, 44, 28, 32, 31, 17, 26, 23, 32, 27, and 29. He's only played 3 games this season without Joel Embiid. Minnesota on a traveling back-to-back. Everybody stunk in that game. We got ran out of the building, and he dropped 16. New Orleans Pelicans, 33. Last night against Miami, bad shooting night, 12 points. I mean, you're really drawing an entire career story off of these 3 games. This one game? I mean, you want to throw Minnesota in there? Okay, 2 games? How many bad games, really? Okay, you throw Indiana in there from last season. So you got 3 out of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 3 out of 13 he has not delivered. You guys got the shortest memory in human history. It's unreal. Oh, and this, most fourth quarter points by a player in 2024 in the entire NBA. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Trae Young, and Tyrese Maxey. And why is this? It's because Joel Embiid starts the fourth quarter on the bench, and Tyrese Maxey scores a lot of points in that 5 or so minutes with Joel Embiid on the bench. Third in the entire NBA. So there's that. And that's not exactly what I came here for. I came here because the Sixers' biggest issue is starting to become very clear to me. And this guy that I'm about to talk about, I love. I think he's a great piece to have. I love his mentality. The Sixers need a shooting guard who's taller than 6'2" and has a basketball IQ higher than 0. The Sixers, if they don't make a move at the trade deadline that changes the fact that DeAnthony Melton is your starting shooting guard, they are not going to go very far in the playoffs. DeAnthony Melton is not a starting shooting guard. And last night I watched several times. Yes, Maxey couldn't buy a bucket. And he was deferring to DeAnthony Melton. And they throw names out there at the trade deadline that could help us in this situation. Names like Alex Caruso, names like Malcolm Brogdon. In a situation like that, where you're playing without Joel and Maxey's struggling, he needs to be able to hand the ball to somebody that can create offense. You cannot, in any situation, be relying on DeAnthony Melton to be creating offense. And this is not a slight at DeAnthony Melton. I do think he gets a little bit ahead of himself sometimes. I do think that he sometimes tries to make a little bit of a name for himself. It's just not his game. He's a combo guard off the bench who's going to give you a little bit of a spark, play some tough defense for his size. But he is way above his means starting at shooting guard and trying to run an offense when Tyrese Maxey is struggling without Joel Embiid. There's a huge gap there from like the type of player that should be in that situation and the type of player that's in that situation. DeAnthony Melton's a role player. The biggest issue right now on this squad, well, there's two. But one of the biggest ones is that I don't think DeAnthony Melton is a starting shooting guard. And Tyrese Maxey cannot be given the ball to him so that he can try to run ball screens and create offense. He is not a point guard. Not even close. I thought the Miami Heat had a clear strategy to flash around screens and double Maxey. It worked. He couldn't make a shot. They completely shut him down. You got to give Miami credit. You got to be able to defer to somebody else. Somebody with a little bit of a higher, how can you say this the nicest way possible? Somebody with a little bit more experience and just overall floor general ability. It can't be DeAnthony Melton. The other issue the Sixers actually have is the backup center position. But again, you're not winning without Joel Embiid. The Bulls aren't winning without Jordan. The Patriots aren't winning without Tom Brady. You're not winning without Joel Embiid. So again, we overhype these games where we play without Joel because Paul Reed is a 10-minute per game backup center who can be serviceable in those spots. It's the Mark Sanchez effect. You can't let him out. When he plays enough minutes, he's going to look like Paul Reed, right? Mo Bamba, cool offensive game last night. Absolutely cannot guard the rim to save his life. Can't box out. The defense is the paint defense with Mo Bamba on the floor is absolutely unbearable and unacceptable. There's got to be a better option than that. You combine him with Marcus Morris and Tobias Harris. I mean, it's just offensive rebounds all day. What's his name? Jaime Jaquez had 5 offensive rebounds last night. The Sixers' entire team had 5 offensive rebounds. That sums it up right there. So it's a combination of guys. The backup center is an issue, and it's been an issue Joel Embiid's whole career. But you're not winning without Joel anyway. So I still do believe that Paul Reed in the 8 to 10-ish minutes can still be the solid backup center. He's done it in playoff series before. But without Joel, woo! We are ass to tin cup. Up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. But you're not winning without Joel anyway. You know? So I just need everybody to calm down. This whole like, oh my God, we need a new scorer. What are we going to do if Joel Embiid's out in the playoffs? I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to lose. You need your star player to win the big dance. Tyrese Maxey could steal a playoff game or two if Joel's out with a concussion or a rolled ankle or whatever. But at the end of the day, you're not winning without Joel. So everybody calm down. But it was a bad game for Tyrese Maxey. DeAnthony Melton is not a starting shooting guard, and he's definitely not a point guard. So at the trade deadline, look, somebody like Malcolm Brogdon or Alex Caruso. There's a lefty out in Memphis. Mike Conley. Mike Conley. I like him. And then when you talk about another scorer, you know, I don't think you should be talking about a guy like Zach LaVine. I think you should be talking about a guy like Bogdanovich, either one. The one out in, where's he at now? Detroit. He gave us a 33 piece. He'd be a nice piece to add. Bogdanovich in Atlanta. He'd be a nice piece to add. There's plenty of wings, scoring combo wings, guys that don't necessarily need the ball in their hands. I think you should be looking for guys that can score and are also known as being a defender. And that is also, you know, not Zach LaVine. There's definitely some things the Sixers need, but overall, bad shooting night for Tyrese Maxey. And you're not winning without Joel Embiid anyway. So everybody calm down. All right? I'll see you on the next one. Peace.